Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today we're here with this Acura MDX. We're doing shocks and struts, or struts and struts, whatever version this is. You'll see it in the video. And I'm going to take you step by step so you can do this yourself and not waste your money on a mechanic. Step 1, pop your hood. Next, we're going to jack up the car, take all 4 wheels off, and throw them in the garbage. Front driver's side part number is G57119. The passenger front strut assembly is a G57120. Here's the part number for the rear. They're the Gabriels, 64003. G64003. Where we're connecting to the spindle here, you have a bolt and a nut. I found it easier to break it loose from the bolt side. You can use a 22 millimeter and then a 22 millimeter box wrench to hold the other side. We need to disconnect the brake line from the shock. That is a 12 millimeter bolt. So take that out, and then you just push this down and out of here. There's a little slot it sits in. We want to get the ABS sensor out of our way so we don't accidentally damage it. Use a 10 millimeter socket. Remove the bolt here, then just pull this, slide it off to the side. The ABS sensor is attached to the shock on the back here. You're going to use a 10 millimeter right here. Take that bolt out. You're going to use a 17 millimeter deep socket with a big wrench or breaker bar, whatever, to break this 17 millimeter loose. Then you're going to use a 6 millimeter here and a 17 millimeter to hold the nut, and you're going to go righty-tighty, and it'll zoom this threaded insert straight out of the nut, and then it'll be disconnected. So the sway bar end link will be disconnected from the strut after that. You have 3 little circle holes. Put a little flathead in, give it a nice little twist, pull this out, and now you can get to the bolts for these strut mounts. You can use a 14 millimeter deep socket with an extension. You're going to go in here, undo all 3 of the nuts. Now that the top is disconnected here, you're going to come down here, and we're going to finally pull these 2 bolts out all the way, at the same time holding here, either you or Buddy or whoever, holding this so you don't just drop it and smash your finger or rip your CV shaft boot down here. You don't want to do that. So yeah, you're just going to pull these out, and then you're going to shimmy this guy out. Just get it out and throw it in the garbage. And then we can grab the new one, and I'll give you the part numbers, and then we install the new ones. But when we install the new ones, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to install the top first, and then we'll mess with this down here. So what I did to get the bolts to go in, I used a socket, obviously. I grabbed the electrical tape, I put the bolt in, I put the electrical tape to where it would catch the bolt, because there's no way to get in here besides these little holes. So that held the nut to the socket. Then I went by hand and screwed it on till it hit the locking ring portion where it got tight. And then I put the bolts in down there, and then I snugged up the top, and we're going to just put all the bolts back together in the opposite way in which I told you to take apart. Make it all nice and tight. The torque value is guten tight, which is German for really tight. So do that, and we're done with this side. Move over to the other side. All the same steps on the other side, same thing, except it'll have a different part number for the front shock on the driver's side versus the passenger side. Spray some penetrating fluid here and up in here on this bolt. You're going to use a 17 millimeter. Remove this nut here from a stud. So this is a stud, so this doesn't come out. And then you're going to use a 17 millimeter to pull out that bolt. Now that the bolts are out, I used the jack here to help support it. That because there was too much tension on this top bolt to pull it out. So I jacked up the control arm here a little bit, and then I could just pull that bolt out. Now you're gonna take a little pry bar, flathead screwdriver, something, and you're gonna get this guy to come off here, and you're also gonna have to go up here and do that, get that out of the way, and then come back down here. It's a little hard with one hand, but you guys get the idea. So you need to pull this out of here so that this gets free, and then you can slide this off to the side, and then we can put in the new one. You're gonna start putting up the shock into this general area. Then you're gonna push up here, slide it, get your first piece slid onto here. And you're gonna grab this whole thing, and you're gonna pull down like a tough guy. Then you're gonna line that up with this top shock mount area deal. Then you're gonna whack the bottom here with a rubber mallet to get it seated all the way here. And then you're gonna put the bolts back on. Once you get one side in, you're gonna do all the same exact steps on the other side of the vehicle. Put your wheels back on, lower it to the ground, you're done. Get ready to go home and go to bed. I'd like to thank everybody for checking out another video. Hopefully this saved you a bunch of money, and hopefully you liked the video. So hit like, share, subscribe, all that garbage. Till next time, wrench on.